What did I do last time that fixed it? Do you remember?
You banged your head on it.
Probably.
You plugged your phone into the mixer?
I could do that if that's an issue. Shit. Could have some creepy music. How's this?
That is creepy. Did you plug your phone in, or did you do something to fix it? Because I can hear it now.
Yeah, I did do something. It's on my phone.
Oh, okay.
Why? Oh my gosh! What is going on with my phone?
Is it haunted like that music?
Creepy, right? You know what that is?
Nope.
Oh, hang on. What was that? Oh, shit. All right. I don't know what it's doing. Reincarnation. What is this?
Music.
Anybody got time for that right now? See, I got... Okay, I'm
Yes.
going to just reboot Skype, and then that's probably going to fix it. And if it doesn't,
Yep, do it.
screw it.
Jesse, during today's show, your opinion of Mighty Number 9. I don't think we've heard it yet, have we?
We haven't, because I wanted we forgot about it last week because you weren't on. So I figured, since the two of us are the ones that played it, we should have a back and forth. So I didn't get very far, and that's kind of the reason, part of the reason of why I didn't. I'll save it.
Okay. Because I think I talked about it the week that you weren't on.
Right.
But I was just curious what your impressions are of it now that you've played it.
Well, I only played it for the one sitting. I haven't gone back to try again.
Fair enough. Still liking Sharp FE?
Can you hear it?
Hear what?
All right, screw it. Okay, well,
All right.
For
You
the
were
time-
right there. I thought you had like 2 seconds of video and audio lag going on, but it caught up.
oh, so that's just obnoxious every time.
Every time.
Hang on, maybe it's this one. Maybe if I close that and reopen it, that would be even more annoying. What about now? Can you hear it now?
No.
No.
Just humor me.
No, but you're crunchy.
I'm crunchy.
You were, yeah, you are.
All right, hang on. If I'm crunchy now, that means that something's going weird. I'm gonna. What are we on? Number 86?
85.
85. All right. Save that shiz. I've got a mouth tonight. All right.
Because
Oh,
we ended up not using the numbering from your live panel.
okay, we're going. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh, it's restarting. I might just disappear.
Patreon folks are really getting a good show.
And so's YouTube, because we're streaming this, and there are four people watching.
Thank you for the 4 people that are watching. I'm enjoying a Slurpee right now. You have these in the great neighbors to the south,
Sure we do.
aren't you? Yeah, you do. This feels like a drink that started off in America. By the way, Jesse, happy Independence Day to you, where your country slayed aliens. Congratulations.
I actually enjoyed that movie.
Did you? I have not seen it yet.
I heard mixed results from the critics, but I liked it.
Hmm.
So
That's fair.
I had to watch the original before I saw the sequel, so I finally got around to doing that. I wanted to.
Holy.
I wanted to watch.
I'm sorry. Finally, like you'd never seen it
Oh,
before.
I've seen it before, but I wanted to rewatch it
Okay.
because it's probably been 10 years since I've seen it. But because I say finally because I was planning on watching it while I was out of town 2 weeks ago. And that didn't
Okay,
happen.
now you're making more sense. Now I don't think you're just crazy, right? Who's all in the chat right now? Jeez, those are dedicated. Don't we know?
Got Kobe, Duromead. I think Louise Prowler chat was from last week. Here's some more sense for you.
What is that? It's American money?
Yeah, it's a George Washington. It's our quarter.
$12 in Canada.
Huh? You're kind of
For dollars.
fancy now.
Well, really? Crap.
Oh, I heard that.
You got it? You got it now? Can you dig it?
Can you dig it?
All right.
Snap it to
I
the
don't know.
Jim.
Do it, brother.
Elizabeth.
All right.
Oh my gosh, I just realized that this entire time I had an app that I had already set up to be my soundboard.
All right.
So
Are we good to go?
let me just do a sound check. And there's something in the thing and whatever.
I like
That's
that.
what you used for your entrance
more
way
often.
forward.
Yeah.
We'll
Join
echo
us,
it, I
it's
think.
the Zubba, what, huh? All right.
Zibba zibba what? Zibba zibba who?
Say what? I don't know, it just
Reminds
looked
me when I took a web design class where we had to fill up a web page with content. So while we didn't actually have to actually make real content, there was a function of a program that would just generate random Latin gibberish that we could.
Priscilla, Lorem Ipsum, whatever.
Yeah, and it would just copy and paste it, and boom, content. So we can kind of get an idea of what our website looks like.
Nice.
So your little gibberish kind of reminded me of that. I don't know why, but it did.
Should we get this horse and pony show on the way? Can anyone hear me?
Yes.
Zach? Zach.
I'm literally here.
Are
Right
you
now.
Sure?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, you're present.
Was I here the whole time? Yes, I was.
Are we ready?
Yeah, yeah, dude.
Let's do this then.
Telling me there's like connection problems?
There might have been, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. All right. Okay.
Let's do it. Ready? Fresh track?
Hang on. Wait. Gotta.
Okay, here's what I'm doing. I'm stopping my Skype and I'm reconnecting, all right?
Okay. Video Games Guru says ready, set, podcast, and I guess not. Ooh, that could have glitched a little. Oh, did you play that audio file I sent you yet?
This.
Uh-oh. The whole call dropped. I don't know why. Oops. died in Canada. Pudding, yes, I have Pokemon Go, but no, I don't know what I'm doing with it yet. And I'll explain that more in the show. Well, I want to kill my Skype and bring it up and see if that helps. Because that's what the other two people did. Nice white screen now. Maybe I'll put up my live reaction page. I don't know who she is. Just a generic. All right. Looks like they started the call without me.
Because otherwise I'll feel broken. I don't know.
Right.
There he is, Jesse Waldeck, the beard of the South. Should we get this thing going? Yeah.
So I figured I'd kill and relaunch Skype. So that's what took me so long to get back.
I actually cycled my route.
After I tried calling you guys twice and no one answered.
All right.
All right, let's do this thing.
All right, so we've been streaming for 13 minutes and haven't even started the show.
Well, let's go.
Oh yeah.
Fresh track.
It's good. We're good. We're fresh as a baby's
Woohoo!
sweet egg. I don't know what that means.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 85. On tonight's show, we discuss the upcoming Splatfest. New My Nintendo rewards are out, and we give our first impressions on a few games, including Pokemon Go, Minecraft Wii U Edition Box Boy, and LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens for the 3DS, plus your questions and so much more. Zach, cue the music.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Nintendo Dads Podcast. My name is Zach Erickson, and tonight is July 6th, 2016. Joining me tonight for some post-Bastin Nintendo coverage, Justin Masson. What's going on, man?
That's right. I am back from Bastin. It was wicked sweet, and I didn't lose my khakis. So yeah, it was great. It's great to be back. I'm excited. It's Wednesday. I realize again how much I enjoy doing this with you. So yes, that's why we return. Speaking of returning, but we're not 100% sure why. Jesse Waldeck, VG Tribune. What's going on, buddy?
I don't know why either. I just show up and you guys let me talk.
We do.
Yeah,
it's
dude.
a thing. We like doing it.
Yeah, hey, it's always a pleasure. And all you know what I'm noticing is it's just the three of us tonight.
It is.
That's a
It's
thing.
been a while.
It's a long time. Yeah, it's a little bit rare. Kind of. We usually throw a lot of guests in here.
We've had a lot of guests.
And we had the post E3.
I was missing a week. Justin was missing a week.
Yeah, dude. Right on. Well, we've got lots to do, and we've got 2 shows to record tonight, so I think I'm going to just go straight into the news, shall we?
You should do that.
Oh, gosh. That was louder than I expected. I got a slightly different setup.
I didn't think it was necessary to deafen all of our fans, but I appreciate that nonetheless.
Hey, you know what? Nintendo Dad's the only audio show that will rob you of your sense of hearing. Right on. So, and of course, the news is brought to us by...
Brought to you by OneUpBox.com. Hey guys, if you enjoy geeky boxes sent to you every single month, check out OneUpBox.com and use the code NintendoDads, and they will give you some money off your first box. So we appreciate our partnership with OneUpBox.com.
Yeah, OneUpBox. Hey, you know what? You want to know why I think I was having crappy internet?
Why is that?
Little behind the curtain thing is I had the audio file that was perpetually saving everything. Saving into the Dropbox.
Oh!
So, no wonder. Google Drive is now closed. Okay. Okay, so we're good. So that's why it was uploading it about as fast as we were recording it. Okay, so this week we got a little bit of news. We got some stuff dropping like it's hot.
Dropping like it's hot.
This is that was. Anyway, Final Splatfest has been announced for June 22nd, which is what, like 2 weeks from now? 3 weeks from now?
Yeah, it's 2 weeks from this Friday.
Yeah.
That's how time works.
Yeah, weird. So time is weird. And basically, yeah, so the final one is Callie versus Marie, which if you don't know who those are, then you don't play Splatoon. Callie and Marie are, of course, the Squid sisters. The amiibo are coming out this Friday, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's a thing.
I got my pre-order in.
So how do you guys feel about this being the last Splatfest? It's been, what? This is like 14 months into the life of Splatoon. How do we feel about this being the last Splatfest?
I don't really know. Well, here's the thing. I think I've only played like 2 Splatfests out of all of them. I just kind of, I appreciate they're there. I love the voting thing. I think they've had some really fun voting ones. I think, Transformers, Pokemon. I think they've also had some really not great ones also. But I am kind of disappointed that they're pulling a plug in it, because I don't really think it takes. Now, again, I'm not a programmer, but I don't think it takes a lot of effort here, does it? Really? I mean, this is something you could very easily keep going and doing. But
a lot of the logic involved is repeated over and over again. It's just different text and different artwork.
It's literally
and different shirt skins, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's like literally just get the intern on the some art intern on. All right, we're gonna do what are we gonna do? We're gonna do early birds versus night owls or whatever, right? And like, all right, do an early bird one and a night owl one, intern, and then it's done. Like, I don't understand why they're pulling that functionality from the game.
I'm kind of wondering if this is if they are going to have a sequel, which a lot of people are hoping they use the name Splatoon.
Boo! No, anyways,
that they may continue them in that game. But this is just the end of this game, so they can shift resources.
It just seems unnecessarily early. Like just a little bit over a year after it has been released. And this isn't to say that the online functionality is going away in Splatoon. In fact, they've actually come out and said, no, online functionality is staying, which is good, because that's like 90% of that game is, the online stuff. But it's just weird to me, like to think that I will never again be able to launch my Wii U and go into Splatoon and have the disco lights and all that sort of stuff going on. The fact that they spent all that time, dedicated all those resources to creating that cool new mode or the cool aesthetic to it, and then literally only do it like just over a dozen times over the lifetime of that game, it seems weird. I don't know.
Yeah, it feels like there's probably more of an opportunity there for them. So a little bit disappointed in that, but I'm sure they're moving their resources and their talent team somewhere else.
With the new amiibo, you'll be able to make it look like Splatfest anytime. You just won't actually have the Splatfest functionality.
Is that actually what those are for? Like, do they actually make it Splatfest in the game?
Well, my understanding is, what I've seen from screenshots is the screen's black. You have Callie and Marie standing on big monitors, and I think that's pretty much what. And they're doing their thing. I think.
So okay, so that almost makes it worse. because what they've done is they said, that functionality that we've been giving you on a monthly basis, yeah, we've taken that and we've locked it behind an amiibo that you need to go purchase. That sucks.
But it's not full functionality, though, Zach. That's the thing you have to remember.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I don't even really care. To me, it's less even about whether you're playing Splatfest or you're playing just the regular mode, the regular battle in Turf War, right? That's always been the same anyways. What's different is that during Splatfest, the lights go down, the ink is neon, it looks way cooler in the game, and they've taken that aesthetic and that look, and they've taken it away, and they've locked it behind the amiibo. That's dumb.
I might actually play on this one. Just to see what it all happens, because I've never played a Splatfest, so I don't know what it looks like.
Yeah, because you go in the main square and they've got those two big, they look like trailer trucks or whatever, and they're dancing on top of the trailer trucks and the big speakers and the lights and the whatever, right? Like there's a big rave going on in the center square there.
Has the voting started yet, or is that starting up soon?
Yes, it has actually. Yeah, me and my son, I left it to him, and he wanted to go with the green one. So we are Marie. Team Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask what sides of the waifu wars you two are on.
Although, if I'm honest with myself, if I had to choose, Callie has a little bit more of an edge to her, a little bit more grunge, a little bit more dangerous. So I don't know. I let Nick pick, but she's got a little bit more of the bad girl in her, if you know what I mean.
I can make a joke there, but I want to keep this a clean show.
I already took it there, dude.
I was ready to make it worse, but
boy.
Anyway, so if I get around to logging in to vote, I probably will do Callie.
Yeah, right on. So that's
Justin,
that is.
Have you answered,
Justin?
I chose Marie. I don't really have logic for it. I just chose a color.
So between the four of us, including your son, we're a 50-50 split.
Yep, exactly. So that's going on.
I expect the overall voting to be pretty 50-50 split.
Right. As well, just so everybody is aware of this too, this isn't in our notes, but I will mention it now. If you go into Miitomo, Miitomo has a Splatoon thing going on as well. So if you go into Miitomo right now, you can buy with your in-game coins or whatever, you can buy your the Splatfest t-shirts for your Mii. So whether you're Team Marie or Team Callie, you can buy both of those shirts in the store. It's not the Miitomo drop, it's actually just in the Miitomo shop. So you can go and buy your t-shirts there for each one and represent accordingly.
And you can also buy the the Splatoon pin.
Yes, you can buy that as well. And I didn't notice this before, but I saw it and I bought it. There's also a Link shield and sword.
Yep.
Was that in the? I didn't see that before, but I guess
it was a new arrival this week.
Yeah, I picked that up.
Yeah, so I got that as well. So I had a bunch.
Miitomo's kind of stepping up their game a little bit in the last couple of days.
What do you think of the 1.3 update? It's probably the biggest update that they've ever had.
I like the aesthetics, the aesthetic change as far as they're showing, what this question is. I like that. It's just a little bit more of an incentive to click on it. Like, oh, hey, if it's somebody who I actually care about, right? The question of the day is actually accessible now, which is nice. Which is at the top there. It'll say this one. If you could give up one thing to be able to keep using the internet for the rest of your life, what would it be? I don't know.
If I answered the internet, would that cause a recursive loop and end the world?
Nice. Other than that,
I explained that to my son, and I think his brain hurt.
Nice. Yeah, that's. I don't know. I like it. It's not that crazy though. It's there though. I don't know. It exists. But yeah, so that's Splatoon for you. So I actually went back and played Splatoon this week, just a little bit on Saturday, or no, when was this? Tuesday? Time is hard. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun to get back in that game. I forgot how fun that game is. So
It's a great game.
It really is fun. It's really fun. So yeah, next up we have Just For You 30% off. Justin, you put this in here. What is this business?
I did. So this is the first time that it's my birthday in July. Happy birthday. I know, you're welcome. You know, you don't need to send me stuff, but you can. Zach, it was your birthday last month. Did you get 30% off?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, so I got a notice from Nintendo saying, "Hey, congratulations on your birthday. Here's your My Nintendo rewards." And they're giving me 30% off on stuff on the eShop for this month. So that was kind of cool.
They sent me a wallpaper.
They sent you. I got the wallpaper and the 30%.
No, they sent me a wallpaper. Dang it!
Yeah, yeah. So that was kind of nice. So
I think I might have gotten something in May, but I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, so they actually kind of give you actually I'm going to go to it right now. They give you a list of games that you can choose to get 30% off from. And I thought that I'll actually read you what the 3DS ones are. Bear with me 1 second. So I thought that was, I think this is the first time that we've actually seen, we have seen what that kind of like the rewards for you are specific to kind of you and that information. So I'll tell you kind of what they're giving me for the 3DS. I know on the Wii U they gave me the option of Xenoblade. No,
Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Yeah, that one. So I can get that 30% off. What else can I get? A couple, I think Splatoon 30% off. A lot of games that I already had, but I'm actually just gonna pull it up now for Just For You. So you can actually go right into your the eShop on either the Wii U or your 3DS, and it will tell you what the applicable software is.
Cool.
So the 3D
like generated by like some custom.
I don't know, because probably not, because I have some of these. So for example, I can get 30% off on Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon, Puzzle and Dragons, Z and Mario,
That's
Super Smash Brothers, Kirby Triple Deluxe, Mario Kart 7, Super Mario Brothers 2, and then there's a couple games on the 3D on the Wii U. So that was kind of neat, and I have until the end of July to use that 30% off. I was kind of hoping to give you 30% off at anything you want in the store, but they have some boundaries, which I appreciate.
That's cool though. That's
Yeah.
interesting. I'm kind of bummed out that they didn't send anything to me, but
It's just that you're not cool enough.
I think it actually is that just this month is the first time they've done it.
It could be
elsewhere online. So
yeah, it could definitely be. So I thought that was it was very kind of cool to kind of get a birthday 30% off. So yeah, if it's your birthday going forward, I suspect that's what they're gonna do. Check it out though.
So could I just like go into the settings and like change it so that every month I get a discount? Is that?
I don't know.
Probably not.
That feels a bit sketchy.
That feels a little bit scandalous. Right on. Very cool. Next up, new Nintendo. My Nintendo rewards started for July 1st. I feel like we talked about this, but I guess we didn't. Basically, there's some stuff
The last show was before the first.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Oh, you know what?
We knew it was coming. We just didn't know what they were going to be.
Right. It was actually me, and it was on our Patreon hangout that we talked about this, actually.
Oh,
which
okay.
you were there for, so you would have known if you were there.
That's when I was watching the movie that I talked about earlier.
Yeah, so that's the thing. But yeah, so there are some changes for sure. I missed out. I procrastinated getting the themes, the Mario and Donkey Kong themes, and I did not get them. So
#fail.
I've never been interested in themes, so I didn't care. But then, of course, when the Zelda one came out, I had to pick that up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They, looking at this month's discounts, I think they've got some pretty good ones on here, right? Earthbound, you can get 30% off. Ocarina of Time, which is already part of the Select program, so that would be even more off.
I bought that like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that's too bad. Fire Emblem Awakening, that's new. Zach, you're a huge fan of that one. That's 30% off. Mario Kart 8, if you don't already have that, that's a must.
Kid Icarus Uprising. I don't know if we stopped on that. Kid Icarus Uprising, if you haven't played it, is really, really good. So it's consider it.
Yeah,
I think it's definitely worth your coin.
One of those games like Star Fox, where it takes a while to get used to the controls, but once you understand the controls, then it's supposedly a good game. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I played one level and went, I don't. Nah.
Yeah, you got to stick with it.
It's ultimately a shooter. I'm sorry, but I don't care what skin you put on it. I don't like shooters.
It totally is. It's a third-person shooter on the 3DS. It's exactly what it is.
I can't think of the game. It's like it was originally on N64, and then they had a sequel on Wii. But it's very
Sin and Punishment.
Yeah, very Sin and Punishment.
Kind of, yeah, and like the flying parts there's some Star Fox in there as well.
Other notable mentions here is Super Mario 3D World, and then for digital content they can pick up, they have Metroid 2: Return to Samus, Wario Land 3, Super Mario 3, Donkey Kong 3, Super Mario Kart, Mario Kart 8 DLC Pack 1. They've got some skins through Bravely Second and Legend of Zelda. Still trying to give away that Legend of Zelda Picross thing. I don't know why they have that around still.
Dude, it's good, man. It's good. I've been playing it.
Yeah. These games in the bottom section are pre-existing awards that haven't yet expired.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
But will August 1st.
I just realized that I actually have enough gold coins to get this new Super Luigi U, which I have not. I don't have that. So
New Super Luigi U.
That's a lot of gold points for a $15 DLC.
Yeah, but it's free though. That's the thing, is that if it's free,
And that's where they get you.
yeah, and I don't. I mean, I don't know. I could spend 4.
I don't even have that many gold points yet. I'd rather just spend I did spend the $15 when it was new, and I played 3 levels and went, wow.
Yeah. So that's the thing. That's new stuff. I'm still having, me and Colin Harris actually on the Patreon Hangout had to talk about this. I'm a little bit disappointed with my Nintendo. Like every month is like, hey, new stuff, and every month I'm like, I feel like it's 15% off, 30% off. I feel like that isn't enough for me to be excited.
Especially since if these points are going to start expiring in September, if they don't give us anything worthwhile to spend it on, they're just going to be expiring points.
I need to know as well how much is going to be expiring, and they have not been transparent about that at all. Because if I just log on and all of a sudden I've got a bunch of points that are no longer there, I'm going to be ticked. Like, I need to know ahead of time, how many am I going to be losing? How much do I need to spend? Like, that's the kind of thing that they have not been transparent at all.
And there's also speculation. I'm hoping that gold points shouldn't expire because we're essentially paying for them.
Mm-hmm.
But there are other people that are thinking that they may expire too.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. We'll see. I've been spending mine. Like, I have 1,000. I have like 1,600 platinum right now. So I don't have a ton.
Oh, I've got like 2,500.
Yeah. See, because I. Yeah. Right on. So that's a thing. Finally, I guess one more thing before we get into what we've been playing, and that's kind of like the last news story as well. But before we get to that, Nintendo this month, where was it? It was just this week. There was a thing here with the thing. Nintendo General Manager of
Wow, that's generic.
Yeah, Nintendo's General Manager of Entertainment Planning and Development, Shinya Takahashi, has mentioned that the company, this is from My Nintendo News, by the way that I'm reading, mentioned that the company is exploring the mobile industry in multiple ways, including potential peripherals. Now, I just want to say, I've been saying this for like years, that what they need to do is release a Bluetooth controller specifically approved by Nintendo that's like, yes, this is how you are to play, like I've said, like the Virtual Console app that you can download as whatever.
Did we lose just him, or did we lose both of you? Justin, you there? Nope. I think we're gonna go belly up again. And there was a ghost to call. I really should be showing my, showing pictures of the articles that we talk about during the show. I think it'd be interesting. I had the other article up, talking about all the discounts earlier, but I didn't show it. There it is. Yeah, I wrote this article. Let's see if we can get him back. Hello?
Hello?
Call went belly up. I think Zach
Hmm.
died.
Well, that's not good.
He's uploading video to Google Drive again.
Hmm. What a jerk.
Call failed.
Come on, Zach. Not a good start, folks.
Not a good middle either.
Hmm. You gonna try and bring him back on?
I already did. And he didn't answer. Yeah. Esteban says, cool, caught you guys live. I said, caught us in the middle of Skype problems.
Yeah, no kidding. Let's try this. Oh, no.
Your glasses are quite reflective.
Oh, are they? Well, sugar. That wasn't what I wanted to do. Playing a little bit of Box Boy.
I have not played that or the original.
No? It's not bad. Oh, there we go. Now I'm cooking with fire. Now then.
Trying to bring him back in again.
Gotcha.
So does that in the game you have Box Boy and Box Girl or something?
Sorry?
Do you have Box Boy and Box Girl or something? Or what's the premise of the game?
It's solving.
Or what makes it?
Well,
I guess we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, that's fair.
If we can get this show on the road.
Yes.
Big leap forward for the
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Gaming.
Wow, that just took a
Honestly,
huge
I was
dump. It
excited
was
to
just
see more
Skype
of
too,
it
by
ever
the way.
since I heard
Yeah.
But Skype took a huge dump. Oh, I should probably close Google Drive again. I had to reboot my computer. No Steam. You don't need to be open either.
But Steam likes to be open.
Jeez,
It wants
Steam.
to download all those updates in the background.
Mm.
I'm gonna say though, Steam is probably of all the places I download games from, Steam takes advantage of the bandwidth.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'll buy a game and it'll download 15 megabytes per second.
That seems a little bit excessive.
Yeah, it's a little greedy, don't you think?
They,
I'm just kidding.
if they didn't want to give me that much bandwidth, they can throttle it on their end.
Yep.
Just like everyone else does.
Okay.
It does make downloading a 20 gig game not take 5 hours.
Yeah. Okay. Are we good to go?
I think so.
Yep.
Okay, we're back. So, thanks, Skype. So, as I was saying, I don't know how much you guys heard, but basically, what Nintendo is saying now is that they are looking into peripherals for smartphones, and I've been saying for a long time, like years, that what Nintendo needs to do is have some sort of a smartphone app or a tablet app or something, where you can go out, buy a Nintendo approved controller that you can then launch your virtual console app and be able to play NES games or SNES games or whatever, and be able to buy them in the app. And you can imagine it probably just linked to your My Nintendo account, so that then you can have it connected over your Wii U and 3DS as well, but have Virtual Console almost be its own platform, and then have third-party controller that Nintendo has created for that. So what Nintendo is saying, that's what I've been saying for a long time.
I've tried third-party controllers that look like NES controllers and SNES controllers, but they are so mushy and just don't feel mushy. Right. And I'm like, I just returned that. Ew.
Yeah,
don't want to touch it.
Yeah. So Nintendo basically is saying that they are now looking into potentially producing peripherals. Shinya Takahashi, has said physical controllers for smart device applications are available in the market, and it's possible that we may develop something new by ourselves. I believe Nintendo's way of thinking is to look at whether action games are really not impossible without a physical controller for smart device applications to create, and how we can make it happen to create. To create, and how we can make it happen to create such a game. So basically,
I think that's just a weird translation, but
that's a really weird translation. But basically, what he's saying is maybe there are games that we would like to put on smartphones that need physical buttons. That's kind of my understanding of that. He also said that Nintendo was also interested in straying from the norm in mobile gaming and is committed to exploring different types of apps like Miitomo. President Tatsumi Kimishima agreed, adding that the Japanese smartphone game platform provider DeNA and Nintendo have plans to launch various projects in the future, which is super vague and whatever. So the long and short of it is it's not just going to be touch. It doesn't necessarily have to be just touchscreen games.
It's Nintendo's thinking about stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Nintendo is thinking about stuff. They're which we have already known that they're willing to stretch the boundaries and challenge the norm in the mobile space, which I think is good. That's what we want, right? So I don't know. Do you have any other thoughts on this, guys? Or like Justin, what are you thinking? Would you buy an iPhone controller that is like an iPhone case that Nintendo made that has buttons on it?
So I don't know if I would buy an iPhone case that has buttons on it, but the way that I was almost envisioning it is, you use a statement of like the Nintendo Virtual Console app, right? So I do a fair bit of traveling. I like to travel with my iPad. And I would love the idea that I'm on a plane and I click on the Virtual Console iPad app or whatever, and there is Super Mario 3. And it's already downloaded, it's cached. It's cached on the iPad, but I have all of my virtual library there, and then I pull out this Nintendo-esque controller, right? The old classic NES controller. I kind of prop up my iPad screen, and then I just Bluetooth and start playing it. I actually don't mind that idea.
Good, right?
Yeah, I actually think that actually sounds pretty good, and so I don't think it's a horrible idea. I do, and I've always said that I think that Nintendo, again, they're so focused on that experience, right? And so I couldn't imagine them doing, excuse me, just a touchscreen kind of directional A/B. So I mean, this would kind of be the solve for that. But I also don't want to be like sliding my iPhone 6, S into a skin of like a controller. I don't want that. I'd rather do it on like the iPad or a bigger tablet, right, as opposed to something very small.
See,
Mhm.
I was one of the early adopters of the iCade. Do you know what that is?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
In fact, I wrote a number of articles about it back on, back when it was when it was just rumored back on VG Tribune. Initially started as a Think Geek April Fool's joke, but
Mhm.
it ended up turning out to be real. And that's got really good joystick and really good buttons. But the problem is it doesn't pair. It pairs with Bluetooth, but it doesn't pair as a controller. It pairs as a keyboard. And the way that the buttons and the joystick works are like keyboard presses. So like if I push up, it registers as a key, and then when I release up, it registers as a different key to show that up is no longer activated. So it's versus or a controller it sends a signal that's up and then it's a constant signal until I let go. So not a lot of games were compatible with it.
Okay. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Is like Nintendo's gonna come in and basically this is going to be something that is specifically designed for, like, I can see them even branding it as a virtual console controller, Nintendo virtual console control, or something like that, right? Or something that is specifically branded for the game that it's meant for. I can see them doing that. I can also see them just kind of having some sort of some branded thing, like not like in the same way that Amiibo is branded, right? So there's some sort of a branded thing that the certain smartphone games can say they have, and Nintendo could even license that technology out to third parties if they wanted on iOS and Android.
Yeah,
So
another device that I've owned, I'm trying to find it, but I don't see it around here. It was an add-on for. I had my one and only Android phone before I started going iPhones was the Galaxy S, the original Galaxy S, and the Sprint version actually had a slide-out keypad. So if you slide out the keypad and then there's a overlay you put over the keypad, so you had a D-pad and a few buttons that would then press.
Oh, that's right.
Keys
Yeah.
on the keypad, and that actually worked pretty decently.
Yeah, I saw is this the same thing? It's like it was like a D-pad that had like a capacitor, like a capacitive touch thing underneath, and so the app would line up perfectly. Yeah, that was weird.
Well, this didn't line up with the touchscreen. This lined up with the physical keyboard.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah,
because it had a slide-out keyboard.
Yeah.
So the keys were very similar to like what the old BlackBerry keyboard.
Yeah. I think like basically the story here is Nintendo is finally catching up to or at least Nintendo is like running up against this idea of, touch screen buttons suck and things, and they're saying, yeah, we might make a controller in order to still be able to make the games we want. Because up until now they're just like, no, nobody wants that kind of a game, and now they're like,
they've always known that, but they've always didn't care about making games for it. But now that they care about making content for the mobiles, they want a controller that is usable.
Right, and the entire time
I applaud them for that.
Yeah, the entire time that they were not interested in doing it, they were saying, "Oh, nobody wants touchscreen buttons," and now they're saying, "Oh, there's a solution to that." So,
hardware.
Well, yeah.
Fancy that.
Of course, Nintendo. That was always the solution, but you just didn't want to do it. It's okay. Right on. So the last story, we're actually going to jump straight into what we've been playing because it's right along with it. So let's do it. All right. So today, no, I guess it was, what time is it? Last night? Jesse, you said it was about 9 o'clock your time?
Around 10 o'clock my time, 9 o'clock your time.
Yeah, so it was at around this time last night. We had a Nintendo dropped. I guess it wasn't Nintendo; it's the Pokemon company, Niantic. Pokemon
Niantic is the company who actually did the drop because they're the copyright holder on the app.
Yeah. So basically, what we have is Pokemon Go is live in certain countries around the world now, and we are So it's super exciting for people who are able to get it, which is not very many people. By the way, can I just say one thing? Is looking at Niantic's Twitter account, Niantic Labs. They have had one tweet in the last 24 hours, and it was when Pokemon Go is now available in the US, Australia, and New Zealand. So I was under the impression that they say something like at E3 that they were going to do a global launch of this. Like, that was my impression. I could be wrong here, but that was my impression.
I would have expected a global launch at least within 24 hours if they did a waived rollout, but they kind of didn't do that.
Yeah, it's weird, right? So I don't know. So now there is a way to go or to get around this. I actually last night, all you need to do is get an Australian
You cheated.
iTunes account, and it's fine. You can do it. It works.
Cheater.
And so yeah, it's hardly cheating. It's like I don't think it's actually
Just
in
don't
the
just don't try to buy anything.
That's the one thing, and I will get to that because it's clear to me that buying things in this game is going to be like my biggest criticism so far of it is that buying things in the game may actually make it seems like it's almost necessary to have an enjoyable experience, especially with little kids. So I'll get to that in a second. So basically when you start out, and I'm level 4 now. There is my son's school, which is like a block away from where I live, is a Pokemon gym, which is super cool. There's some Pokestops fairly close to where I live, so I can get free items and things. But here's the thing: is that it's what I was concerned about was the Ingress model, right? Because it was basically Ingress with a Pokemon skin, which is exactly what it is. The difference is that Nintendo, or the difference is that Pokemon skin is actually a really good thing for this game. It actually adds a lot of logic to it, it makes it much more intuitive. Whereas with Ingress, it was like, oh, here's this weird hub thing. What the heck is this supposed to be? I don't know. We're supposed to fight over this hub or something.
I was confused.
Yeah, so this one's a lot more simple. It's like, here, go to this one, get some free items, like get some free Pokeballs, get some whatever, and then go to the gyms and fight for control of the gyms. That's basically right now the whole game. And so this morning I woke up and I told my son, all right, I got Pokemon Go, let's go for a walk. And we went out and we started looking around, and I noticed that there is an item there called Incense, which is something that attracts wild Pokemon to you. And during that walk, it lasts for 30 minutes, so I used it. I think they give you 2 to start. We caught like a dozen Pokemon within 30 minutes, and we weren't even really trying to, we weren't really going crazy with it. We could have probably gotten more, but I had my 3-year-old daughter. We were all just going on a walk around the park, right? So we ended up getting like 12 of them. It was super fun, really exciting. And I mean, it was a motivating factor to get my kids out of the house. Later on, when I didn't have that incense, we went out again. Like, I went out again tonight after the kids were in bed, and I did the same lap and probably got like, I kid, probably like 2 Pokemon within the same amount of time, 2 or maybe 3. Which, when you're walking around trying to catch them, and you can see you can see where the Pokemon are going to be, there's this sort of like, it's the equivalent of like the rustle in the grass, right? The long grass, where there's like little leaves that are spurting up on the map, and you're like, oh, there's a Pokemon right there. It's right around here. But I know the thing that bugs me is I know that I could pay money, and I can't buy them yet, which is probably a good thing for me to just enjoy this game the way, at the free level. But to just know that, like, I could pay money and these Pokemon would be easier for me to catch. They'd be easier for me to run into. And that does not feel good if this is a game that they're wanting people to be excited about. So having said that, though, like, the motivating factor to get out into the community. I had this great experience tonight where my kids and I, before we actually went out 2 times with my kids, and then I went out again tonight by myself because I really wanted to get familiar with it for the show. And my daughter needs to go on a walk to actually fall asleep sometimes. Otherwise, she's crazy wired. But basically, we went out across the street, and as we're walking around, we notice, oh, hey, there's a bunch of people here. And they're like, oh, by the way, it's this big community event thing. It's free, being put on by the city. Here is free pulled pork on a bun right now. And I'm like, Pokemon Go just got me free pulled pork. You win.
And there's the title episode right there.
Right, you win, Nintendo. Free pulled pork because of Pokemon Go, and like basically it's not just about the pulled pork. It's about actually getting me out into the community in a way where I'm like, oh, I stumbled upon this free community event that was going on anyway. I was there to catch a freaking horsey, and I got free pulled pork instead. Right, so that's sweet. It's cool, and I can foresee, pulled pork aside, I can see how this is going to get people out into the community, getting them out, and working outside, getting to know each other, getting to meet other people, getting them into the sun. I think it's going to be a really good thing for me and my kids, and frankly, from a parenting perspective, just that little bit of extra incentive of, hey boy, let's go out and go for a walk in nature instead of you sitting on the iPad. By the way, hey, we're going to go and look for Pokemon too. And that's just that little bit of extra incentive to get the momentum going, which can be a struggle with kids sometimes, with pulling them away from the TV and whatnot, just to be able to say, all right, we're going to go and catch some Pokemon while we're out in nature right now. So I don't know.
I kind of had a similar experience when I was, I think not last Thanksgiving, but the Thanksgiving before, when I was at Oklahoma visiting my wife's mother. I decided to go on a walk, so I knew there was a park, about a quarter mile down. So I walked to the park, and I see just a whole bunch of people standing there, with tons of boxes. Maybe it was before Christmas. It was one of those holidays.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just handing out these boxes. I'm like, oh, what's going on here? Oh, where was so-and-so's church just handing out these boxes. If you want one, go ahead and take one. I'm like, sure, I'll take one. It was really, I didn't know what was in it. Really heavy. Walked home with this big heavy box. It was basically Christmas dinner in a box.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, just for walking randomly on the street one day.
Yeah, like my kids got library cards at this thing, like free library cards which I had a library card, but now they have one, and they thought that was about the coolest thing in the world. So, just another one of those, hey, get out of your house and go out and meet people, because of Pokemon Go. So, very cool. Justin, you have not played it yet. Jesse, you said you have downloaded it. Have you? What's your experience been so far?
So, I downloaded it just before I left to pick up my kid from church. So while I was sitting in the car setting things up, I set my avatar, and then so I caught 2 Pokemon sitting in the car.
Nice.
Bulbasaur and Execute.
Cool.
And then,
I think Bulbasaur was your starter, right?
Yeah. Though, if I realized what was going on, I would have picked Charmander, because I always go for the fire. But yeah. I picked Bulbasaur just because that was the one closest to me on the map. I felt like I was in the car. I didn't want to have to walk over there to get it. I didn't know if it was going to make me do that or not.
You're like walk over there with your phone, and like while your son walks out of church, and it's like, Dad, what are you doing?
I wasn't even in church yet. I was still at home. I didn't even leave yet.
Okay.
So I did that and put it away. So picked him up, got home, then I went on my walk.
Mm-hmm.
So how far would you say your walk was?
The first one that we went on, that 30-minute walk when we used the item to, I think it ended up being like 1.2 kilometers or something like that, okay. Which is just
shy of a mile.
Like half a mile, maybe, yeah.
But yeah, they were in the 3/4 because I walked about a mile, which is about 1.6 kilometers.
Okay.
And so I walked toward the direction of the Pokestop, which is the church.
Where you get
quarter mile. Okay. It's a different church, quarter mile away.
Right.
And
you get the free items and stuff, right?
I got 3 Pokeballs for that.
Cool.
So
Have you gotten
then-
any yet, by the way?
You have any what?
Eggs?
No.
Okay.
I don't
I'll talk
think
about
so.
that in a sec.
Wait, so then I continued to walk. I walked up to my kids' elementary school, found a gym across the street from that. It looks like about where the video rental store is.
Okay.
Yes, we still have one.
Wow. Was there like a red box or like their staff?
Their staff. It's a family video,
Nice.
so it's like a poor man's Blockbuster. Yet they're still in business.
Cool.
Anyway, but I didn't. The game said, yeah, there's a gym here, but you should wait until you're level 5.
Yeah, that's what it's told me too.
So I said, okay, fine. I wasn't wanting on walking over there anyway. So I walked home. How many Pokemon encounters did I have? 0.
Like zero.
0.
Yeah, they need to be more frequent.
I saw a few grass rustling, but of course that was, half a block down on a road I wasn't planning on going.
Mm-hmm.
And then right, across the street from my house, I saw this pulsing white circle. I'm like, I don't know what this is. So I stand as close to it as I can. I don't want to walk in the circle because now I'm in my neighbor's yard, which I really don't want to be in my neighbor's yard. So,
Right.
So I tried tapping the screen where it is, and nothing happened. I put a picture on my Twitter account saying, "What is this?" and what is
It sounds to me like a bug, frankly. Like what it sounds like to me, because I've had this happen a couple of times where it's bugged out for me. Both of them have been around the time when you're going to catch a Pokemon. So mine was, I had one where I tried to throw the Pokeball and the game froze and then crashed, and then I went back and the Pokemon was still there, but I hadn't caught it or anything. And so I just started the encounter over again. That was the first one. The second one was I threw one and I got it into the ball, but then it froze, and then I went back into the game and it showed that I had caught it, which was good. But what it sounds like with yours, that's a possibility, is you may have actually a Pokemon may have spawned near you, but then the game wigged out and the actual 3D model of the Pokemon didn't show up. And so then when you tried to do it, like their servers have been pretty swamped. Like it's been up and down for the big part of the day today, where the Pokemon servers are just, the Pokemon Go servers are just like, yeah, like they're just taking a dump right now. So, yeah, so I think that likely is what happened, because what happens usually is a circle like that will show up, but there will be a Pokemon in there, and then you tap on it to initiate the encounter.
Yeah, I tried tapping on it in case maybe it was a Pokemon that just didn't fully spawn, but it didn't do anything.
Yeah, it's probably just a glitch because of the server issues.
Then I did find other Pokespots on the map, but they were outside of where I wanted to walk.
Yeah.
They were probably able to put me an extra quarter mile out of my way, which means my mile walk would have ended up into almost a 2-mile walk if I made that extra distance. I'm like, I don't have time for that right now.
It's nice though, because it, like, when you're out on a walk, it is a little bit more of a motivator to, like, you know what, maybe I will actually walk over this way and check this out. Or you look at the map and you're like, oh, I've actually never been over in this direction before, but there's a thing over there, and so maybe I'll be lucky and do that, right? So
yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Weekends,
I like it.
Or when I have more time to do more exploring, I definitely will. It's just that particular walk, I knew I didn't have time because we're here.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I'd probably still be outside.
Exactly. Yeah. So I definitely plan on playing around with it a whole bunch more. So hopefully hopefully they officially launch it in North America, or in North America, Justin. Hopefully it's launched in North America soon, including Canada.
Yeah,
so
what I have heard I saw this on Twitter, which from some Twitter accounts that don't really look too reputable, so take it with a grain of salt. But some people were downloading APK files to
my brother's done that on Android
to install on their Android manually. And the word is that they are device banning.
I heard that too, and I don't buy that for a second.
I don't know if it's true or not, but just kind of in the off chance it is true, just wait till it's really out.
I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they can do that on iOS. I don't think they have permission to do that.
No,
Maybe they do.
But Not on iOS, but I don't think you can manually install on iOS either. But Android, you can do a hell of a lot more.
Android, you've already made bad choices in life. You get what you deserve.
Justin, do you have any questions about it, man? Like, what are your like? Is this sounding like something you're interested in, or?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely interested to give it a go. I am a little bit worried of, is it going to kind of catch my attention for a week and then drown out? I've kind of heard that statement already. But I do like, yeah, I do like your statement though, Zach, of getting out and exploring the world, which is exactly actually what we overheard them saying in E3. Is that was really what they're aiming to do. But I find it funny. It's like, we want to go out and explore the world, but by the way, put a screen in front of your face to do it.
Yeah,
right?
Like I don't know if you can see if my camera's working, but my son was literally the whole time walking around like this, with this in front of him and whatever. And I was like, which, I mean, to be fair, it's better that he's doing that than at home
inside the house. Yeah, I did hear some funny stuff. I guess in Australia, one of the gyms was put at a police station.
Yeah.
So a bunch of people were showing up there, and like the Australian, I think police actually put out warnings or on a mention on their Twitter account, hey, by the way, could you please look up where you're going?
Well, so they were saying you don't have to come inside the police station to get your Pokeballs. You can stand outside and do it. That will work just fine.
Yeah, I think this game will definitely kind of take the world by storm. I actually even heard about it today on the radio driving home, on the local radio station, about how Pokemon was out. So it was kind of crazy, but it's exciting. The Pokemon, the Go Pro or whatever, the Go, what is it?
Pokemon Go Plus.
Yeah, Go Plus. It'll be interesting to see how that works in the end and entitled how it works. But yeah, I'm excited. Obviously, as a person who travels a fair bit, to take this with me and see where I can capture a different Pokemon. I'll try it for a bit. So
it's cool too. How actually I was just I was at a UPS today because I was sending something because postal strike in Canada. That's great.
I heard about that.
Yeah. So, but it was right across the street from the West Edmonton Mall, dude. That place is there are Pokestops all over the mall, and there are 3 different gyms in the mall. It's awesome. So I'm gonna go in there and before I choose my team or my color or whatever, because at level 5 you got to choose your team, right? So I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna see what teams are rocking it at the West Edmonton Mall, and then choose my team from there, because there were already gyms by the time at noon, I was about to say noon o'clock, at about noon today when I was there, the gyms were already claimed by people, and there were big Pokemon on the top of the gym protecting their honor or whatever. So it's already a thing at that mall, which is, I mean, it's, to be fair, one of the biggest malls in the world, but that was pretty awesome. So we will definitely check that out. We'll be giving more impressions as that goes on. I think what's important for that game though is that they continue to update it with more content, and they continue to have provide people with a reason to come back, right? And they've said as much, that that's part of their plan. But
so not to collect just 50 Pidgeys.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, the other thing I was going to say is that it seems like there is a potential for swarms, basically. There was on my walk with my son, we ran into 7 or 8 Drowsy, which was it was over half of what I caught was just Drowsy, which was crazy. But anyway, so that's a thing. Pokemon Go. Any other thoughts on that before we move on, guys? Okay, moving on. Next up, the other thing that I've been playing, Nintendo provided us with a review copy of Minecraft for the Wii U, which was super nice of them and really awesome. And I have played quite a bit of it now. And I mean, first of all, if you have played Minecraft, this is definitely Minecraft, right? And it's the same thing. I've never actually played console Minecraft before. I've only ever played it on the PC, and it is definitely, Jesse, have you played Minecraft on the PC before, or on the console before?
Not on the console. I've played a little bit on the PC and really didn't care for it.
Yeah, so the controls are the crafting, I guess, specifically on the console is a lot different. I'm not going to say I prefer the PC version, I guess, as far as the controls and the crafting and that side goes. What is cool though is the specific Nintendo stuff. So for those of you who don't know, the Wii U version has a Super Mario, like a Super Mario world, where they've basically created a ton of Mario sculptures and whatever, and the entire world, and the entire thing has a skin. Like there's a Mario skin that even if you start like a survival mode, but you want the Mario skin, you can do that. But the Mario world is really, really cool. Like it's very, very well done. There's lots of different areas that you can go in, and it's cool because you start and there's like a big sculpture of Mario, and you can kind of like go to the different areas. There's like a big Toad one, and then in the snow area, and they've kind of, as the climate changes around the world, you can just see the different themes as they're kind of playing with them in the game, which is cool. And then for those of you who have played Minecraft before, you know about the Nether, which is basically the Minecraft equivalent of like hell, I think, Yeah. Right. And so you basically have to create a portal in order to get to the Nether, like made out of obsidian stone, and you strike them, you light it on fire and all that kind of stuff. And that gets you to the Nether. And as soon as you get to the Nether, like I step out of my portal and I realize I'm on this enormous sculpture of Bowser, and like all of the Nether is themed like Bowser's castle type stuff, and it's got the Bowser music, and I kind of like, so I'm standing on this Bowser and I look over across this huge like crevasse to see like this huge Bowser castle that has been built and stuff too. So I was like, holy crap, this is amazing. And I was playing in creative mode at the time, but you can play it in survival mode too. So I think I'm actually going to just create like a survival mode in that world, and just like, I don't know, I actually started it, and like I'm hollowing out the Toad sculpture so that I can live in it and then go from like explore from there. So I don't know. It's pretty cool though. I like it. It's definitely a cool experience to kind of have the fusion of those two things together. So, and my son, the thing with Minecraft is like some kids really take to it and some kids don't, and I don't know what it is, but Nick, I think it hasn't been as interesting to him, but I'm not entirely sure why. And so I'm gonna see if I can get him to mess around a little bit more with that. Yeah, but
my son has played a little bit of it, on the PC, but I think my youngest daughter has played the most. And I do have a server which is currently powered off because otherwise it's loud. But the server hardware does have Minecraft server on it that the kids can then log into.
Nice.
Sometimes they play multiplayer with their uncle who will log in. And
yeah.
They'll give out the RRP address to their friends so they can log in.
Very cool.
But
they haven't
done that in a while.
I like it. It's fun, and like I've played Minecraft on the PC for a long time, and if you haven't played Minecraft in general, like just at all, what are you doing? Minecraft is great. It's one of those games that is just so it's so easy to just get into this like Zen-like state with Minecraft, where you just like, all right, I'm just digging out this big hole. I'm digging a hole, and I'm gonna find some iron, and then I'm gonna build like it's just, you just continually go progress,
and then you find this bat cave.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you'll be mining forever, and making torches and whatever. And yeah, exactly. And then all of a sudden you like just fall, chip through the wall, and all of a sudden you're in this huge cave, and you're like, what is going on in here? Which, by the way, the bats in the Mario one, I'm pretty sure it's the Pokemon Zubat. Like it seems like it, at least. Like it's.
I figured it'd either be that or Keese from Zelda.
It might be. I'm pretty sure it looked like a Zubat. Really, I could be wrong on that, but it looked like it. So. Yeah, so that's basically what I've been playing. I also picked up Skylander Superchargers on deal at my local Best Buy. So that is a thing that I have started playing. I got it for super cheap, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's I probably have more impressions later on with that. So Justin, what have you been playing, man?
So just before we transition off of Minecraft, it was so funny that you were mentioning it. Yesterday, both of my daughters asked me, "Hey, Dad, when can we get Minecraft and play it?"
Really?
Yeah, they were watching some Minecraft videos on YouTube, and they're like, "Can we play Minecraft on the Wii?" And I was like, "Yes, but no." And where were you 2 weeks ago with this urgency to want to play it? So I thought it was kind of funny, actually. So
awesome.
I have some first impression. Sorry, go ahead.
I just remembered we do own Minecraft for PS3 because my kids will play that, but I haven't touched that.
Mm. So I do have some kind of like first impressions. I downloaded Box Boy, the sequel to Box Boy, and so.
Can I just say that that's a terrible name?
Yeah,
It's just so bad.
I'm waiting for Box Boy 4 where they just call it Cubed.
Yeah.
You know.
It's anyways. Sorry.
Yeah, it's I'm not too far into it. It feels very similar to previous Box Boys and the premise of solving with the bricks. The nice part is now you can have more than one brick. You have 2 blocks or 2 boxes to kind of do with as you please. So that changes the dynamics of the puzzle. So it's kind of cool. I questioned at times whether I felt like it should have been its own separate game or just like a DLC extension. As opposed to, and I'm sure there's enough content there to justify it, but it just kind of felt like, the premise is similar to what you're doing already. Could this just be an extension or an extension pack or something? But
how much does the purchase cost?
I think it's like $8, I think.
That's not so bad.
No, it's not too bad, but I mean, it kind of felt like it'd probably be like, hey, $3 or $4 for a DLC, and you get, the next chapter. Like, I mean,
wow.
Yeah, you could even. So I don't like you. Like, it just feels like it could be different.
Dude, your internet. Okay.
Are
you back?
That's going to be awesome to listen to.
Yeah, I thought so.
Okay, sorry. You were like a Cylon. Anyway, continue. I think you're better.
You weren't even a robot. You were worse.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, it's not too bad. I'd recommend giving it a go, but I'd probably say if you're questioning whether you want to get it, start with the original Box Boy. Play that first. But again, I mean, the premise is solve puzzles using boxes. You have a limited amount that you can use, but it's pretty cool. Check it out.
Nice.
The second one I've been playing is Lego Star Wars for the Force Awakens, and this is. I played Lego Star Wars games previously. I played Indiana Jones and Batman. I thought they were okay, but I haven't really gone back to them for a while. And I went, and I don't know why, but like when this trailer came out a couple of months ago, it like just caught my attention and it looked amazing. So I went and picked it up, and this is such a great game to be playing with the family and playing with the kids, and such a great introduction.
Is this your first Lego game with the kids?
No, they played Indiana Jones as well and Batman.
Okay. So it's been a while though.
Yeah. So I've helped them play that together. But this is, even when I was thinking about introducing my kids to Star Wars, where was the starting point? This is such a great starting point for them, I think, because it does it in its Lego cuteness way, where it tells its story, but perhaps in more of a kid-friendly kind of way. And a great example is kind of in the first scene in when Poe Dameron is getting the secrets, the map, and Kylo Ren comes to the village and is basically kills, spoiler alert, sorry here, but kills Poe Dameron's, kind of inside man who had the map. They don't do that in Lego, right? Like your Lego, you're not going to kill someone, right? They're not going to strike the lightsaber across them. And in this, the Lego guy has a hard time. Kylo Ren, his lightsaber doesn't work, and it's just not going well. And so finally, he uses like a force push and just like throws him off the world. And then like other scenes, it's a cut scene to Star Destroyer in space, and sure enough, there he is floating in space, smiling and waving at you, right? So just kind of like that cute Lego way of telling a story, but making it kid friendly and accessible. They also do a great job of. You have your partner in the first couple levels. You have Poe Dameron and you have BB-8, and you need to swap between the puzzles to use who you need to. So I think that's brilliantly well done. The voice acting, I think, is quite well done. Between load scenes in the chapters, they actually bring in like old school arcade games to kind of play that remind me of very much how Splatoon did it. And so like there's a level where you're playing as like a wired frame Millennium Falcon shooting down TIE fighters. And that's the load screen. Like as it's loading, you're kind of not noticing it because you're kind of doing a little activity on the top screen.
Sounds like a throwback to the original Star Wars arcade game, which
Yes.
was vector graphics.
Sure, yeah.
And
So
they had a port for Atari 2600 that I used to have.
it could be for sure. So I thought that was really, really cool. I like the other thing about the Lego games, which I've always kind of felt like, you know, if you've played a Lego game before, you find the MacGuffin or whatever the Lego part is, you break it, then you have to reassemble it, and you reassemble it into something, right? And that moves forward. In this, when you're reassembling it, you actually don't necessarily reassemble it into what it was meant to be, but there are 3 other areas or spots that you can reassemble it, and they have different things it's built into. So in a lot of times it's you know, for example, there's a water fire hydrant, water tower. You basically have to move water to activate it. So first you break the MacGuffin, then you kind of like turn it into this platform. The BB-8 has to spin the water tower over to open it up. Then you need to break that piece again, then use it as like a power converter to get the water in there. You get the water in there. Then you need to move it back to the thing for BB-8 to use to spin the water tower. Then you need to break it up again. Then you use it as target shooting. So it's a lot of kind of like puzzle thinking, puzzle problem and thinking, which I really rather enjoyed. So I think it's a great game to play with kids. Sit down and work through levels together. And again, it's just a fun, enjoyable. Like the thing about it as I'm playing is I just keep finding myself smiling.
Yeah,
I think Lego games do that. I think they've done it well in the past. I know that Zach, you've had some issues with the last Marvel game you weren't super impressed with, but there's something about Star Wars. And
no, I still like I like the Marvel one as well. But it's I did like it for sure. In fact, we've been playing it some more too. I'm gonna let you finish though.
But I mean, you kind of wrap those things together with Star Wars, with Lego, with kind of the energy and the excitement around The Force Awakens and the story it tells. There's a lot of kind of like trophies and rewards. So I think this is both a great game for kids, a challenging game for experienced gamers. It's a lovely entry into Star Wars itself. If you haven't got your kids into it, it's a great first game. I think this is definitely a must if you're looking for a game, and also relatively reasonably priced when I look at retail games. This was 40 Canadian. I think it's actually it's 30 American.
Really? That's it?
Yeah, it's not. So I think this is definitely one. If you're thinking about, I'd combine this with like Kirby, Planet Robobot, and you've got a bang up lineup right there for games.
Awesome,
Kids. Yeah, so definitely pick it up. And I think there's some download play on it. And I think there's some
3DS. I thought this was on the Wii U.
Yeah, I picked it up on the 3DS. So I think there is. I have to double check though. Again, I've only got a couple hours into it, but these are my first impressions, and I think it's definitely well worth your time.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Wii U version is $50 US.
So it's still a little bit cheaper than a full price game then.
Yep.
I like it. I like that. That's cool, man. I love I just love
the 3DS price here.
I love the Lego jokes
30.
that are in there. Like they're like the in the Avengers one, it's like Nick Fury just constantly has like a milkshake in his hand. And this was even in the old one too, where it's just like he's constantly carrying around a milkshake or something, and he'll like throw it to one of the SHIELD agents and stuff like that. And it's so funny. Just little gags like that constantly. It just makes it really enjoyable.
And you can even see that playing out here as well. It's so well done. It's just brilliantly. I love watching the cutscenes because I'm like, I know how this is supposed to go, right? And they've got the voice acting like they're lining up to make it go, and then you're like, oh, but you're not going to kill someone, so how are you going to do this? And it's quite comical. They just do a brilliant job of it. Yeah,
right on, dude. Very cool. Awesome, Jesse. What have you been playing, good sir?
Hey, I already talked about Pokemon Go. I had wanted to bring it up last week, but it slipped my mind because Justin wasn't around to remind me. But we wanted to have back and forth with Mighty Number 9.
Oh yeah. Dun dun dun. Do I have a name for that? I don't think so. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't remember if I might have streamed it. I don't remember if I did or not, but I didn't really get very far into it. I just felt, I was going into this expecting a Mega Man-ish game, and Mega Man even, still runs relatively smooth, and, will do what you tell it to do most of the time. But Beck just seems clunky.
Okay.
I don't know, just the way the art style ended up. His idle stance is just so uncomfortable to even look at. His arms are like way out here. I'm like, how is that your default position? That makes no sense. And
that's awesome.
And when he's running, yes, I understand you're supposed to be a robot. So was Mega Man, but he still ran smoothly. But you run like you weigh 50 tons. You can hear every foot fall, and the motion actually stops walking for a brief second before continuing on. Even though at his full sprint, he's still going. It's like that really bothered me.
Right.
So I managed to finish the tutorial. I got to the area where I can choose which of the other mighty numbers I wanted to deal with. And I said, all right, fine, let's do mighty number 1. And I don't know how far I got because I never got to the end boss, but it just, the way halfway through the level with falling platforms and fire and with the clunky motion that doesn't seem to do what I want it to do, I'm like, I don't think I can play this game.
Yeah, that's
part of it is me sucking because I also sucked at Mega Man games, but at least Mega Man didn't make me want to throw a controller through the TV.
Yeah.
It was tough because of level design, not because of controls or garbage. There is a distinct difference.
It really does and you're not like, from what everybody has said, it really does feel like this is it looks like it's just an unpolished like novice indie game. And I don't mean that in a knock against indie developers, because they're doing the best they can with what they've got.
Right. This does not look like a $3 million game.
Yeah. Like, what is going on here? I don't understand that at all. And
$30,000. I would have. I probably would have let a lot of this slide. But he had AAA levels of funding going on with this.
Do you feel like this whole issue with their online code, like that, really, it feels like that was almost them getting off course?
I think so.
If they would have just focused on, let's just keep it a single player game, how
many people have even played the multiplayer part? I don't even know where that is.
Yeah, it's just so dumb.
They bury it so deep that they don't want people to find it.
I don't know. Like, that's the thing, that's what it makes me think, is that it's so that they got so distracted by the online functionality that they just didn't even do anything.
And
it's
my
weird.
understanding is the online being ready on day one was a requirement of having the publisher doing the physical release version part.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they had just kept it digital and single player focused, it probably would have been a lot better. And we probably would have gotten it 9 months ago.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
It was a rough game. It really pissed me off, and I don't think I ever want to go back to it.
Yeah.
And there was rumors going around that game was actually bricking Wii U's. I don't know how true that is.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of does make me worry. I don't want my Wii U broken.
Yeah. It's just weird, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Justin, do you have anything to add about that?
I know I talked about it a couple of weeks ago after it came out. I would agree with Jesse. I think the challenge, it's funny. Jesse, your statement was you just sucked at Mega Man because it was hard. This you just sucked at because it was bad game design. And I think that's a lot of what I would agree with as well. I think the controls are not as tight as they should be. I do. I do think it boils down to this. It's not a great game. It's not a horrible game. It's a lifeless game. It feels very just going through the motions. Feels like there's nothing behind it. And I think when you put it to the pedigree of it is a spiritual successor to Mega Man, you are building a expectation for yourself that you will never meet and you will fail. And you know, I think it's, you know, I was thinking about it yesterday. I thought this will go down and, like, you know, I have a physical copy of it, and I was like, I'm going to return this to GameStop or EB Games to get some money. And I thought, no, because this is like a relic, right? This is a moment in gaming history where something went really bad that could have went really awesome, and we may want to hold on to this. You know, and it's a game that, you know, but I do agree. It feels like, and again, we're not knocking indie developers, right? But it feels like this is a 2 or 3 man studio kind of project from a university team, right? Or as a final, you know, assignment, as opposed to, you know, almost $4 million Kickstarter project from Anafune. So
I think the best summary of the game came from the YouTube channel Really Freaking Clever. You know, he does a lot of, you know, 64 things wrong with blah 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 game. So he had a 99 things wrong with Mighty Number 9.
Oh wow!
And it's a funny video. Go back, you know, go find it. But he shows a screen of, you know, the big professor, the skinny professor, Beck, and I think Call was there, just standing around talking. You know, no mouths are moving.
Yep.
And they're all just stationary or doing some weird, funky idle animation. I don't know. He described it as it looks like a PS2 game meant for a mediocre kids cartoon that didn't have a mediocre kids cartoon attached to it.
Yeah.
No, totally. That's, like it's like the quality of like a crappy licensed game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
If you want to hear an interesting opinion of it, you know, I don't usually like to point people to other directions to listen to stuff, but I would say go over to Kind of Funny Games, and Colin Moriarty, who is a huge Mega Man fan, provides his review of it. It's about 25 minutes long, where him and Tim and Greg talk it out. But you know, he mentioned some really good points about it as well. So yeah, I don't know. I think that's kind of all I want to say about Mighty Number 9. But it was interesting, Jesse, to kind of see that you and I both had the same opinions. Obviously, you took the approach from being a backer who actually vested money in it, who had a vested interest long in, and I took the approach of I'm just a guy walking to a game shop and picking it up. So.
And neither of you liked it. That's
yeah. Yeah. And again, it's not great. It's not bad. It is what it is, right?
It's just totally, which almost makes it worse.
Yeah.
Let's be like, if it would have been absolute garbage,
there are some cool ideas in it, right? Like I do think that kind of the boost and these kind of combo attacks, I do think are very neat and very cool premise. But I think that those things are pretty thin and mediocre. And there are moments. There are moments where you feel like, yeah, I could see how this is Mega Man. I could see how you're getting there. But those moments are very faint and thin, and they're very short, that it's almost like they don't really quite exist, right? If you want me to believe you're Mega Man, I need to feel like it's a Mega Man game the entire way through and through, not these very like 15-second bursts or 10-second bursts scattered maybe once or twice between a level that make you kind of, you know, reoccur some kind of memory in there. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then I have one more game I wanted to talk about if we're done with this one.
Okay. Yes,
sure.
And I like how someone pre-populated the games that they thought I was going to talk about and added Sharp FE, but I didn't get very far, much further into that game to talk enough about it. So I want to talk about something else that did occupy my time.
Okay, let's do it.
So, I don't know, Justin mentioned in the pre-show that we had Independence Day.
Right.
So what does that, you know, for a lot of people, it means fireworks and celebrations, but to gamers, what else does it mean?
Independence Day the movie.
No.
I don't know.
Steam sale.
Oh, yes.
So I picked up a few games, and the one that really sucked me in, and I'm surprised it sucked me in, I wasn't expecting to get this much out of it, was Prison Architect.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of a SimCity-ish type of game, and they have kind of they have a freeform mode, and then they also have a campaign mode where it kind of says, gives you a list of objectives. Some of it's required to move on, some of it's optional, and you just gonna go through the motions, and it really grabbed me in. I think in 4 days I put in over 20 hours.
Wow.
Probably closer to 30 hours.
Holy cow, dude.
Yeah, I spent most of my weekend playing this game. And
what's it again, just for the listeners?
Prison Architect.
Okay.
And it actually just had a PS4 release on Tuesday, which is this. It's been out on Steam for a while. I think it was like it had early access, back in earlier this, either late last year or early this year, and then because I'm reading through message boards. Yeah, and there's talk of Alpha Build 15 and Alpha Build 17. So I'm not sure where the game actually became official, and complete, but apparently it's complete enough now to have a console release that has extra content that the Steam version doesn't yet have. So if you like SimCity, give this one a try. It's not on sale anymore. I think I paid like $8 for it. I'm not sure what normal price is, so I can try to look it up while we continue to talk. But I enjoyed it.
Very cool. Right on, dude. So that is Prison Architect on Steam. Right on. So let's get into some listener mail, shall we? Justin, you're slacking on your do it response.
Do it.
There you go.
Prison Architect is actually $30. So, so me getting it for $8 on the sale was actually a pretty good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Right on, dude. So Justin, what do we got some listener, some postman.
We do. And the postman is brought to us by patreon.com/NintendoDads. If you'd like to be a supporter, head on over there and support us. So questions come. First one comes from Eli on Twitter. He says, guys, what Zelda game do you plan on playing before Breath of the Wild? I know you have bought a few of those that you have not played yet on the eShop. Which ones are you the most excited for? Good question. Eli on Twitter.
What do you think, Justin? What do you got?
You know what I'm going to play that I've never played is the original Zelda. Like the very first one for the NES.
Yeah, I never thought about that, but you're right. I think I own, actually, it's kind of sad how many of them I own now.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I own it also.
I'm pretty sure I own all of them.
I know I own all of them at least once.
Okay, I don't own Skyward Sword, actually. I know that. So let's go through the list, right? So NES, we got Zelda and Zelda 2.
Yeah.
I got both of those as ambassador titles on 3DS, so I know I have those. Link to the Past, I got while it was on sale in E3 at E3, whatever, during E3. There you go, on Wii U. So I paid like $4 or something like that for it. So I just picked that up. Then what?
N64, Ocarina of Majora.
Yeah, both of those I have on 3DS, and I've played both of those. And then Twilight Princess I got for
Wind Waker GameCube.
Oh, sorry, Wind Waker. No, I've played that. Yeah, Twilight Princess. Maybe Twilight Princess is the one for me because I have that one, and I've played. I think I kind of lost steam around Lake Hylia. Is it Lake Hylia, the one where you like? Anyway, you have to like wear the boots and go down to the bottom. I think I'm at the point where like I have the boots, but if I jump into the water, then I'm going to drown. So I have to do something else. That's around where I'm at right now in that game.
So do you have the HD remake or just the original?
Yeah, I've got the HD remake. So that's probably the one that I'll play. Either that or I will finish Oracle of Ages, or both. So yeah. What about you, Justin?
Yeah, I do think I'd go back to just the original. I want to start off with.
Sorry, let's do that.
Yeah, I was like, I'm still pretty solid on that answer. That hasn't changed based on you reading a list. But there's a lot of great games. Like I picked up Minish Cap, A Link to the Past, Link Between Worlds is always great. Zelda 2. You know what I haven't played, but I would like to, and I was hoping that it'd actually show up on the eShop, was Skyward Sword. I have not played that, and I've heard mixed reviews on it, but I kind of wish I had played it. So, yeah, that's a good question, though. Jesse, how about you?
Yeah, I'm kind of Zelda'd out.
Whoa!
Well, remember last year I played both Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword.
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
and here's why I say I think I'm Zelda'd out for now. Doesn't mean I'll be forever, but for now. I bought the HD remake. I tried playing it. I really couldn't get into it again. So I didn't. I only played that for maybe an hour. Then, I started Minish Cap. While I was doing my travel, didn't get very far in that. I got a little bit more into Link to the Past and Oracle. So I've been kind of bouncing around trying to find out something what I want to continue to playing, and they always fall. No, this isn't scratching the itch. This isn't scratching the itch.
So you think you're just going to take a breather?
Well, and then I bought Ocarina of Time on 3DS at the reduced $20 price before all these. I could have gotten it for 30% even more off with my coins.
Right.
And I started playing that. I got maybe 3 hours in, and I ended up not ever saving it, and the power ended up getting me killed in my system. So I'm like, if I want to continue playing that, I got to start over, and that's a big downer.
Oh, that's the worst.
So I'll either try that again. I might play Wind Waker again. Zelda 2 actually sounds interesting again. I'm a big fan of Zelda 2, and I know that's not a common opinion, but because I enjoyed the RPG elements.
Cool.
And if you know how to game it, actually you can use it to your advantage. Like you have health, magic, or maybe that's it, just some health and magic meter. Starting at level 1, it goes up to level 8. So the higher your health is, the less damage you take when you get hit, and the higher the magic is, the less magic points each spell takes to cast.
Right.
Oh, and power. There is a third meter, power. So it goes from 1 to 8. So there's the enemy called the Bumble that looks like a skull. At level 1, literally takes like 64 hits to kill. But they're worth doing because they're worth 50 experience points, and that can ramp you up really, really fast.
Right.
But by the time you're level 8, they die in like 6 hits.
Yeah.
Right. So I tried to time like the second to last boss, or I keep my health at level 7. So I try to get enough experience points. If I beat the second to last boss, that'll get me to level 8, which will then heal me, so I'm then fully prepared for the final boss instead of starting the final boss gimped. So you got to game the system a little bit. I've played about it in Virtual Console and played most of it, but I've never actually finished it as of within the last 10 years. But when it was new, and I replayed it a few times in the 90s, and I'd get to the point where I finished it. But I haven't finished it in a while. So that one's the one I might replay. I'm also worried that the new game may not scratch the Zelda itch because it is so different from a Zelda.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You know what? That you're not the first person to say that. It seems like there's so much different about it.
I'm actually not a fan of Western RPGs. Skyrim doesn't interest me. Mass Effects scare me. There's just so much stuff to do. I don't know how to prioritize my time.
Right.
I own 2 or 3 Dragon Ages and never touched them. I'm afraid this might land in the same thing. So I don't know, but
I think
how that's going to work out yet.
From what I saw on the streams, it seems like if the dungeons are similar to the shrines in how they're kind of laid out in the gameplay of the shrines, those actually reminded me more of like the Ocarina of Time type gameplay than anything else in there, right? As far as like dragging blocks and stuff like that, in order to do the puzzles. I hope that is like when you step into a dungeon, it feels like a Zelda dungeon. I think if they're able to nail that, then all of the extra stuff that's in the overworld, I really don't care that much about. It will be cool, new, exciting, additions to it. But if they change the core gameplay of the dungeons specifically, I think that's a problem that they're going to need to convince me, or they're going to need to find another way of making it still feel like Zelda, like you were saying. So yeah, right on, man. Thanks, Eli, for your question. Next up, we have Chris. He says, hey, dads, I was thinking about launch games. If you had to make 2 franchises as launch exclusives from here forward, what 2 franchises would you choose? Keep in mind, there's usually a game drought at first. So what 2 franchises would you want to be exclusive titles from here on out? Launch exclusive titles from here forward. So I guess just kind of trying to understand the question. So the question, Justin, or the way you understand it is like from now on, this franchise is only ever a launch franchise.
Yeah,
that's
the way that I would put it.
Okay. I would say Nintendo Land.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they would be really smart to have some sort of a. You know what? Now that I say that, though, that was such a. It was such a wannabe Wii Sports that I almost, now that I actually say it, that I'm like, I think that's kind of weak.
I think
I would have loved to see Nintendo Land too.
Yeah, but here's what I think they need to do. They need to combine Wii Party, the Wii Party franchise, and the Nintendo Land franchise, and put them into one game.
Yeah.
So like do Nintendo Land Party or whatever you want to call it. Have
Party
it be
Land.
with, yeah, like, because what is like the Wii Party U, like I think like I picked up Wii Party U as like a freebie once because it was the only one I didn't get out of I didn't already own out of all the different things. So I have Wii Party U, and it is so bland that it drives me crazy, right? With the Wii skin or whatever, the Mii skin. But if you were to take that same sort of gameplay or like a Mario Party gameplay or something, and kind of just take all that stuff and put it into one with Nintendo Land Party or something, make that a launch title with, and it's your classic sort of tech demo, whatever, right? And maybe make it really exciting. But I think that's a good one to start with.
We need the return of the rabbits.
No, I think honestly, what we really need is, because I can't remember what podcast I was listening to, but it was somebody was making the comment that, I think it was if we ran Nintendo. Is that what their podcast?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, and they were talking. Sean and Bobby were talking about how the Mario game that launched the Wii U was New Super Mario Brothers U, which was a terrible idea. And if they would have instead had Mario Galaxy 3 as that launch window game, it would have blown people away. It would have moved more systems, and it would have been more impressive. And I totally agree with that. I think that an actual full-blown 3D Mario platformer, I think, is the perfect thing to bring in a new system. It like exactly what it did for the N64, right? With Super Mario 64. I think that, so I would say Nintendo Land Party, Wii, whatever, and an actual full-blown Mario 3D platformer.
See, and I agree with both your statements. So originally I was thinking Nintendo Land, but I think that, and I was thinking that'd be to capture your casuals, but I think we want to do something else. I do want to say the 3D Marios, the Super Mario Galaxy 3, and then I think you need to hit them with a more mature. The second game launch title has to be more mature to get those other mature fans over. So I think that has to be either a Metroid or a Zelda. Has to be there. So I would say Metroid is what I would do, because that would help to kind of, and it has to be like a grittier Metroid as well. But those are my thoughts. Jesse, what about you?
I'm actually trying to look up a game because I can't think of the name of it. But This question is actually hard because I don't think we want to have any franchise designated as the launch window franchise, presuming the way he worded it. Like these games will be like Nintendo Land was the launch for Wii U, to have like another Nintendo Land for NX and another Nintendo Land for the next whatever the next system is going to be. Because okay, all right, I think I found the name. Because we end up getting tech demo-y games, and normally they're pretty bland and boring. Sometimes you get a hit like Wii Sports. Sometimes you get a travesty like Feel the Magic XYXX from DS. That was just a weird game.
I don't even know what you just said.
Look it up. Feel the Magic XYXX. It's from Sega.
All right.
That is a really creepy game.
Cool.
You're touching girls.
Oh wow, that's
Somebody didn't QA that one.
Wow. You know what?
It's just the silhouette of the girl. So the whole game is silhouette. So it's again really weird. But look it up. It's funny.
Say that. Tasty. That's still a thing in DS games with Fire Emblem. Just saying.
Got it. Wait. So but then you have franchises that may have dried out that may be a good fit to be a kick in the butt to the console. Zelda in NX's case is a good example. Metroid Prime-ish, not Federation Force.
Please just call it Metroid Prime-ish.
Yes, because I don't know what it might be a Metroid Prime, it might be something else, but something that's not Federation Force. Where people are expecting that to be an NX launch title because we haven't seen one since Other M. Wii U had no Metroid games. Right. Just like N64 had no Metroid games. So they're like skipping generations with this franchise. So it depends on the environment, on what has happened in the previous generation. Does it make sense to have that as a launch title or more mid-season? So that's kind of a hard question to answer.
Okay. All right then. Good question from Chris.
Absolutely.
How dare you make us think?
Yeah. Next, speaking of thinking, Brian Welch, the power beard of the South, is going to make us think too. He says, that. No. Oh, sorry. You have a good beard. Brian has a power beard. Powerful beard of the internet. Brian asks, what games would you like to see on the NX? Because I'm hoping really for a turn to Super Mario Strikers. That's from Brian. Now, we actually had some other people who responded to this question as well on Twitter. No to Kid said Earthbound, and Earthbound. Brandon CHFG said, I'd love a new Animal Crossing game. New Leaf was my only experience. And Marty from good friends of Reactor Radio replied with Mega Man Sucker. So, guys, I know what I'd want. What game am I hoping to return back for the NX is Luigi's Mansion.
Dude, that's already good. Like, that's like all there are rumors, I guess, right?
There are rumors. Rumor has it.
I like it. Yeah, that's a good one. I could say the obvious that is Metroid Prime. I think that is ripe for a remake, or not a remake, a sequel. I'm gonna go out there and say the quintessential Earthbound collection. So like the Legacy Collection or something. Basically a remastered version of Earthbound Beginnings, Earthbound, and Mother 3 all in one package. I think that's I'm gonna just put my
and
stick in
your $80 game, that high-end high coin.
Yeah. And that's I mean they could even take that story and actually do like a full sort of, whether they want to put it in a 3D like a remake style, they could do that, or they could just remaster the graphics, make it even do like it would be cool to basically take Earthbound and Earthbound Beginnings, the whole thing, and basically give it the Link Between Worlds treatment, where it's still top down, it's still, the sort of grid based whatever, very basics or very simple, but that same sort of perspective, I think would be really cool. Square Enix actually recently did this with, I mean, I realize the scale is a lot different, but they recently did this with one of my favorite Game Boy games of all time, Final Fantasy Adventure. They just released on the Vita. It's called Adventures of Mana. So, and it's like a full remake of that. Yeah, it's really cool, and it's like $14 on the Vita or something like that.
I need to check that game out.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that it's such a loyal remake to it, and it was such a simple game to begin with because it was on the Game Boy, but it's like a full 3D remake, not 3D in like, you know, like a third person sort of deal. It's still top down, but
it uses polygonal models versus sprites.
Right, yeah, but I mean, I guess there have been multiple. This is the second attempt to remake this game. The first one was called Sword of Mana, and on Game Boy Advance. But yeah, Adventures of Mana is just barely released on the Vita, and it's not great, but it's also like $14 on PlayStation Store, so it may be worth checking out. So I think that would be a really, really cool thing for them to do, is to just say, because they're kind of saying, you know what, we're not going to do another Mother game. We're not going to create another one. But at least having that like the ultimate collection of all three remastered would be super cool. So that is what I'm going to say. Jesse, did you say yours?
Did I? I didn't. One game that I'm surprised has never existed, which I don't think I'll ever play either, but just because I don't like sports games. But
okay.
you know, we've had
Mutant League Football. Oh, sorry.
Sports ball.
Sports ball.
We've had Mario Golf.
Real.
We've had Mario Soccer. We've had Mario Baseball. You know, I'm surprised we haven't seen rugby or anything like that. But
attaboy.
Cricket. There you go. But
Mario and Sonic
like,
Olympic Games. They got rugby.
American football.
Oh yeah.
Why haven't we had that yet? There's got to be
weird.
some other country besides U.S. must have a like for that type of game, don't they?
I don't know.
Apparently not Japan.
I don't know, dude. Japan. Yeah. Right on. Well, thank you for everyone for your questions and for everything. You guys are the best. Like that's not even just like me being friendly. That's just fact. So right on. Thanks again, everybody, for your emails. Of course, if you want to email us, nintendodads@gmail.com, we'll get you send it there and we will get it. Through the magic of the internet tubes, we will get it. Right on. Justin, do we have anything as we're kind of rounding out here?
July 10th, this Sunday, we're dropping our Retro Rewind for Punch-Out episode. Thanks for everyone that played along with it. Speaking of Retro Rewind, for the month of July, we're playing Donkey Kong Country!
I downloaded it. I started playing it, and I've never beaten that game. I've only probably gotten like one world into Donkey Kong Country. So I'm
so excited.
When that was new, you know, at the time I was in college, I actually had 100% of that game. Like 101% of that game.
Nice.
It's pretty fun. And you know what? I've got to say, it looks pretty good on the new 3DS with that Pixel Perfect mode.
It does.
It does. It looks pretty spanking. I don't know what that means. So right on, man. And then, of course, so let everybody start playing that. And again, we're going to have that Punch-Out episode to you. We're going to record it right now, and it'll be there for you soon. So check it out. Right on. Anything else, Justin, as we're wrapping up here? I think that's about it.
I would just direct people over to Adam Leonard from Mega Dads, who does our amazing Nintendo Dads commissioned art. So check him out at redbubble.com. Or actually, just check him out at megadads.org. That's the best place to go.
Just check him out.
Just check him out. Subscribe. It's good. They're good stuff.
He's a good man. Right on.
Him and John. They're good nut.
Right on. So if you want to join us as well on all the social medias, you can do that, Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram at Nintendo Dads. You can email us, nintendodads@gmail.com. You can find us on the YouTubes or the Twitches. YouTube every Wednesday night, youtube.com/c/Nintendo-Dads/live. You can call in and leave us a voicemail, 929-25-NDADS. It's 929-256-3237. If you want to buy some Nintendo Dads merch, you can go to tiny.cc/Nintendo Dads store. Big thanks to OC Remix for our music throughout the show. as well as to Carter Johnson and Annam Leonard for amazing artwork. And if you want to change the world, people, which what are you doing? Yes, you want to change the world. Go over to iTunes, leave us a 5-star review. Written reviews are even better. The more reviews, the more the world will be able to enjoy Nintendo Dads. So go over there and do that. You guys are awesome. As well, if you want to subscribe to the show, you can do so over at iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and of course, VGTribune.com. For me, for Justin, and for Jesse, we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
Wow, that soundboard is way easier to deal with than a Windows Media Player playlist.